Now, how will you define the word responsibility? How will you define the word responsibility? Able and willing to determine the result on all viewpoints. Able and willing to determine the result on all viewpoints. What do I mean? The first thing I want you to look at is, if I look at life as many viewpoints, there are many people, and each one of those lines is a viewpoint. A viewpoint. There are 7 or 8 billion viewpoints, and when you take one viewpoint, when you say, I have my opinion, and you have your viewpoint, let's say you said, this is my viewpoint, at that moment, you make yourself right, and you make 7,999,999,999 viewpoints incorrect. Which means you say, I'm responsible only for that, and all the rest, it's not me. All the other people has nothing to do with me. What I'm telling you, that actually to be responsible is to be able and willing to determine the result on all viewpoints. Why? Because at the lowest level, if I look at responsibility as a scale, where at the top I have responsible, and at the bottom I have not responsible, I can say that when you are responsible, you are cause, and when you are not responsible, you are an effect. Okay? Now, the most affecting in the universe, the thing that is in the lowest level of responsibility, could be the physical universe. You know, if you go to a piece of wood and you tell the piece of wood, how do you feel? The piece of wood do not answer. It's dead. It's total effect. You can only hit the piece of wood, use the piece of wood, but the piece of wood will never wake up in the morning and say, well, I want something. Because it's totally irresponsible. If you will blame your car for the accident, you will see that it's quite insane. It's totally irresponsible, because the car is a dead thing and it's total effect. Does it make sense to you? That's the lowest level of responsibility. Okay? Does it make sense to you? Lowest level of responsibility is the physical universe. You're being an effect. Just a little bit higher, what you have here is something fascinating. Here, the higher level of responsibility, what you have here is called the problem. Problem is very low level of responsibility. It's not the lowest, because you still assert something, you still say I'm right, where at effect you don't even say I'm right. So a problem is force counter force. You say I'm right, and something else say I'm not. Force counter force. And what you have is a problem. It's a low level responsibility, but it is somehow responsible. The moment that you take responsibility, some level of responsibility, which means either you stop pushing or you overwhelm the other person. So you have two options. Either you stop pushing and it's not a problem anymore. You don't want it. Let's say a guy come and say, Mommy, I want ice cream, I want ice cream, I want ice cream. He has a problem because Mommy say no. The moment that he say, you know what, I don't want ice cream, it's not a problem anymore for the child. So that's one option. Or the other option is to overwhelm the opposition. He convinced his mother to give him the ice cream. There's no problem anymore. So that's the two options. So for as long as you're in a problem, you have very low responsibility, but once you stop pushing or you overwhelm, you went actually one level up. You are here, and here you have personal decision or personal causation. Okay? So you, as a person, cause things, and you cause things. It's what you do. You say, what I did, it's me. So you say, I hit you, it's me. I had an accident, I don't blame the car, I blame myself. But if someone hitting me, I don't say it's me because it's him. I can prove that it's him. So when you have personal causation, it's a position where you say, I know, I'm willing to take responsibility to what I created, but not what other people created. So I'm willing to take responsibility if I broke the door, but if the door just fell down, it's not me. At the highest responsibility, when you are here, you are actually willing to take possession over all life. Anything that happened to you and anything that you are caused, you consider it's you. Now there are some areas in your life that you are here. There are some areas in your life that you are here. Some areas in your life you are here and some you are here. Areas in your life that you are here give you no problem. This is where things go well. Your hand probably is in that area, and for as long as you don't have pain, etc., it's in that area. You are willing to take full responsibility for it. Whatever you've done with the hand and anything that is been done to your hand, it's you and you keeping your hand in good condition. As you start to go down, the lower you go down, the bigger your problems. So your problem is as big as you are not willing to say that it's you. Your problem is as big as you shunning responsibility, as you saying it's not me, it's someone else's fault. When you find fault with someone else, your problems start to grow. The first time you started to have a problem is when you started to blame someone for your condition. Does it make sense to you? Once you understand that, you can understand that when you are able and willing to determine the result on all viewpoints, basically what you are at the top. You are able and willing to determine the result. You say, I determine the result on my viewpoint, on the other person's viewpoint, on the physical universe, on my life, on my family, on groups. I define the result. The result is me. When you are here, you are winning. As long as you start to deteriorate on that scale, you are failing. You are failing to the degree that you are not willing to say it's you. Because you think that to be right is more important than to be successful. What you do here at those levels, you can say that this is a scale of how right you are, where here you are really right. At the bottom, you are really, really right, but dead. And at the top, you are willing to be right or wrong at the same level of enthusiasm. You don't care if you're right or wrong. Where here you are 50% right, 50% wrong. So responsibility is really a scale of right and wrong. Where at the bottom you are right, you are trying to be right, which means everyone else is wrong. And as you go up, you get to personal causation where you are 50% right, 50% wrong. And when you get to the top, you are willing to be right and wrong at the same level of enthusiasm. You don't care. And before you get here, you are not going to be successful. You're not going to have what you want to have. If you check your life, if you're willing to look, if you are not trying to be right, you're willing to look, you'll see the more right you are, the worse you get. So the whole idea behind the fear to freedom is to get you to stop being right and start having fun. Because you cannot be right and have fun. Because when you are right and you make everyone else wrong, it's very boring to play alone. Okay, the conclusion is that a problem is a condition of reduced responsibility. A problem is a condition of reduced responsibility. The only reason you have a problem is because you are not responsible. So a problem is a condition of reduced responsibility. Okay. If you did not determine a result, it is a proof you dropped your responsibility for it. If the result was not determined by you, if you did not say there are going to be 100 people in this webinar, if you didn't say that, you're not responsible. If you didn't say and actually caused it to happen, yes? So if you did not determine a result, it is a proof you dropped your responsibility for it. And the problem is that people say, yes, 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 I'm responsible. And then someone hitting them and they say, but he hit me. Because they're mixing between responsibility, which is one thing, and fault. It's not the same thing. Responsibility is one thing, fault is another thing. So if someone shoots me, he may be at fault, but I'm responsible because I end up with a dead body.